you look out here, it's beautiful up here. Duluth area is really beautiful, especially looking out over Superior, even though it's frozen.
Michael Ledford sees the beauty of our area much differently than most others. Heart problems threatened to end his life prematurely at age 34. Life took a dramatic twist for the Nisswa man when a donor heart became available and he was called in to undergo heart transplant surgery.
To have the transplant itself isn't so scary. It's trying to live day for day knowing that you may not make it to the next day. That's a really hard thing to deal with.
You could say his connection to Duluth is heart to heart. The heart muscle he received was from the body of an anonymous 19-year-old Duluth woman. He doesn't know how the donor perished, but says he'll be thinking of her every day of his life.
I know it must be hard for a lot of people to live with, but by being a donor, they gave me a second chance at life, which I really didn't think that I would ever get.
4-year-old daughter Kylie is the pride and joy of Michael's newly renewed lease on life. The donor heart has enabled this dock designer and builder to concentrate on his favorite job, being a dad.
I looked at her and I told her, "You can run now," because I told her I can catch you. You know, that was she used to be able to outrun me because I couldn't run that, you know, run a few steps and get tired. And she always wanted me, "Daddy, climb with me up on the playground." And you start, I don't know, feeling things a little more that you didn't feel before. Some people turn things off in their life and they shouldn't. They should live life to the fullest and try to grab and get what they can out of life.
Jason Rice, Channel 6 News.
They're soft and cuddly and they're cute little baby animals. This just says about them is they're soft and they have beans in them.
And they're talking about beanie babies, cute, cuddly creatures that are selling up a storm.
Now Duluth, the area, Minneapolis, it's catching on. It's big. The company can't supply us or the other people. They've gone, you can check this sheet, they've gone into collectibles already within 3 years. $500, $800, $1,000 for certain ones. You can check the internet and get the scoop. They've got a web. It's hot.
And kids agree they love their hot new collectibles.
And I like this one because he's got more than just one little guy. He's got two, but it's a bummer that it's not a beanie. There's only one beanie.
It's a beanie leash.
And what do you use the beanie leash for?
Well, you can carry him around like that.
Because our principal told us to make one, and so we did, and it's coming up pretty good.
Yes! Yes! You guys are good. Now, we need some eyes there, don't we? You know about him? Look at his face. Homer. Okay, now, pull it aside. I'm going to look at it.
Live in the city. Guess where the other 60% live?
The drug trends were rising, and it was just to really combat the drug use by the media, which frequently glamorizes violence, drugs, alcohol, tobacco. So it was just the industry's way of kind of giving back.
Fair story has to get out. No, there's lots of inside things that they tell me about you guys too, so particularly.
Anchors. I've been very proud to work there. Even after your newscast aired, I still am proud of working there.
Because it's a well-run facility. Everybody cares about everybody. Everybody works well together.
People who find out what scandal worked in L.A. is it transferable to Minnesota, etc. It's about ratings.
When the governor turned over the phone records,
Last night's council meeting gave both sides of the issue a last chance to voice their opinions. And voice their opinions they did as concerned citizens spilled out into the hall, waiting for their chance to speak. At issue was the idea that the city-directed Miller-Dwan Hospital be allowed to seek nonprofit status. Supporters of nonprofit status say the present system could lead to the end of the hospital.
If the changes that have been proposed by this task force are not made, my fear is that Miller-Dwan is not going to be able to be competitive. If that were the case, that we would see Miller-Dwan become a liability to the city of Duluth, and that the hospital would shut down.
Some people, though, are wary of changes in Miller-Dwan's status. One of the current goals of the hospital is to provide charitable services to the poor, and some fear that could disappear.
That this has been done before in other parts of the country, and you could wind up with a residual with about as much cash in it to buy a couple of boxes of Band-Aids and a jar of Vaseline.
After 3 hours of debate, the resolution to allow Miller-Dwan to seek nonprofit status finally came to a vote.
Councillor Bowman.
No.
Councillor Hills.
Yes.
Councillor Hogue.
Yes.
Councillor Keenan.
Yes.
Councillor Rapayich.
Yes.
Councillor Talarico.
No.
Councillor Wheeler.
Yes.
And President Hardesty.
Yes.
6 yes and 2 no.
Although the resolution passed, nonprofit status is not yet a done deal for Miller-Dwan. Now hospital officials need to get special legislation on the state level to get the change. That bill would have to pass its initial committee by the 26th of March. In Duluth, Dave Anderson, Channel 6 News.
Elite Tinting and Graphics is located near 45th Avenue West in Duluth. The business had just moved into that location and was still storing some of its equipment in a locked trailer near the building. Someone broke into that trailer on Sunday night, February 2nd. They cut the lock off the door and stole 2 portable generators, a pressure car washer, tools, and a large supply of snowmobile parts and accessories. The thieves needed at least a pickup truck to carry everything off. The total loss was nearly $12,000. Call Crime Stoppers if you know who the thieves are or what they did with the stolen property. We'll pay as much as $1,000 for that information and keep the caller's name anonymous. Call us about any crime information you have. Our numbers are 1-800-974-TIPS or 723-ENOUGH. That's 723-3683.
It's going to be a long-term investigation before this is all closed up.
But no arrests?
No arrests have been made at this time.
Have you got suspects?
Not at this time. That's what the investigators are here for.
Lucille Lassie is on a mission to keep Pixie, her pot-bellied pig.
All I wanted to do is be legal and get her a license. That's all I asked.
To do that, she must prove that Pixie is a pet. You see, in Babbitt, it's illegal to keep farm animals like sheep, horses, and pigs within the residential district.
She don't bark like a dog and chase deer like dogs do. She's an indoor pet. Can I have my kiss now?
Pixie is a pig, but she's no slob. She's trained to use the litter box. She eats fruits and vegetables, and she's got a great disposition.
Pigs like Pixie are bred for being house pets. They are a house pet. They're not a regular pig. And she makes a good pet. Oh, I love her. I won't give her up for anything.
Lucille says she won't stop until her mission is accomplished. In Babbitt, Angela Wang, Channel 6 News.
We maintain a budget reserve, and I use the Division 2 level as they already are.
I frankly have been looking forward to this day for several months. This task force report is the first plan that we have in our Department of Intercollegiate Athletics for looking at the issues of equity and proportionality. And I'm extremely pleased and grateful to the committee for giving us a plan that was effective and as responsive to the issues raised last summer as possible. And I'm excited about the future, and I hope that we're able to continue to privately raise funds so that we can accomplish
the principal came out and I asked him if we should stand down there. He didn't say to. So that's why I was standing.
And my 8-year-old doesn't know what to think of it because there's children that are not prepared or ready. This is a grade school. You have no business being in front of a grade school. What next? Are you going to go down to the daycare centers? They're going to grow up someday too. Maybe they are ready for this too.
Minimum wage is fine for us, you know, and if it was raised, I mean, it affects more of the back of the house. It affects the menu. The menu prices are going to go up. People aren't going to come in, you know, because the owners have to compensate for that amount of that money that's, you know, you're giving to a server who's already making $13 an hour. So.
It doesn't look like your normal airplane, probably because it isn't. The Alliant Tech Systems Tactical Unmanned Aerial Vehicle, or Outrider for short, is the military's newest toy.
Well, the impetus behind the project is certainly military application, where the military can go and identify targets and send back the information to those who are in the battlefield. But what we're finding is there's interest domestically as well.
The Outrider is designed to fly in hostile situations and record information, all without a pilot. That means it can operate in bad weather, land and take off in poor ground conditions, and take more risks than conventional reconnaissance planes. Seeing the Outrider complete its first test flight successfully was an emotional sight for project designer Carl Jarvis, who built the plane's airframe or fuselage.
Like waiting for a new baby. It was very exciting for all. We had all the faith and confidence in it, but still, when you see it leave the ground, it's fantastic.
The plane is not only exhilarating to watch, it's an exciting boon to the local economy. Cirrus' main focus is its SR-20, but any additional contracts, especially one worth $4 million, means at least 20 extra jobs.
When a project like this comes along the way and offers you an opportunity to diversify, to keep people busy while you're waiting to certify an airplane, it's very beneficial. It adds more jobs, but it also keeps jobs here as well.
As you'd expect with new military gadgets, the actual price of the plane is classified. But builders say it's much less expensive than a regular aircraft, and by not risking the life of a pilot, its worth to the military is priceless. In Duluth, Maureen Tallarico, Channel 6 News.
Everyone's volunteers. Nobody gets paid to do what they're doing. They pay their own way into the racetracks and everything, and they're all JCs.
5 years ago, Rocket Rob Cahoe of Mound, Minnesota, had a conflict of interest. The JC Telethon for MDA was on a race day. That's when he got the idea to combine his two interests and help kids. The results have been amazing. Last year alone, Cahoe's team raised more than $8,000 in winnings for the MDA.
I wanted a way that I can do some racing and also raise money for a good cause. And that's the main reason we started the race team with it. And we're going to continue to do this. And that's one reason we got involved in to do it.
The team's popularity is growing. This year, Toll the Troll mascot has been added to the pit crew, which, by the way, is made up completely of JC volunteers. The team also stops at local schools and each year visits special MDA summer camps, teaching kids about racing, team spirit, and self-esteem.
It smiles from ear to ear, and right there, that's better than racing as far as I'm concerned. What we get to do with the kids and how much fun they have with the race car and everything, it's overwhelming. That's why we do it, probably. That's a good part of it.
And through that program, I learned more about the issue of lead poisoning in children. Subsequently, I had my children tested and found out that my youngest, Sarah, had a borderline high lead level.
So I really do think that this campus needs more education about disabilities so we don't have these type of problems coming up.
Your common household item, something like that, or these guys here, people can just give you a call.
Fluorescent bulbs contain mercury. We do not want to discourage people from using them because they're much more energy efficient than incandescent light bulbs, and energy production is one of the primary ways that mercury gets into the atmosphere is from burning fossil fuels. So it's great to use these, but it's important to remember they contain mercury, and again, these are banned from the garbage in Minnesota, and they should be recycled through the household hazardous waste facility.
The drop in prices started with one merchant trying to entice customers, but it has now escalated to a price war. Here at the corner of Woodland and Red Wing in Duluth, customers can now fill up for as little as $1.21 per gallon. Bill Trescott, owner and operator of the Spur gas station, says his prices needed to change so he can stay in business.
And I plan on staying here. And but I need to do whatever it takes to keep the business going, and so I need volume. I need customers. I'll sell my product cheaper, but I need volume. Can't do it if I don't have the volume.
And the prices of milk have dropped as well. You can now buy a gallon for $2.20, and this doesn't include the 50 cents you get back when you return the bottle.
Some competitors chose to do this. And so my milk category, or my milk business, basically went dry. My milk sales were way down. So either I'm going to get out of the milk business, or I'm going to have to join them in the price.
The Milk House convenience store chose not to comment. Customers claim they don't look at prices when they buy gas or milk. They say they're loyal to the business they've grown accustomed to. But they also say low prices are a bonus.
Yes, I'm very happy. I grew up in this area, so I'd come to this gas station no matter what the prices were, actually.
So it's like an added extra bonus then?
Yes.
I buy gas here all the time, and I wouldn't buy it anywhere else because I believe in keeping my money in the neighborhood.
On the front lines of the latest gas war in Duluth, Angela Wang, Channel 6 News.
Just like there was, it was just like there was this hole, and it was like a hole in all of our lives. And it's, now that we're all together, it's just like the hole has totally disappeared.
Yeah, this is no small thing. So that's
what they call a one-hitter.
Or a dugout. Oh, all everything. These things take time. Call back on 15 minutes, sir. But you don't take your numbers. Problem resolved. I can see if you were. They could get a lot of little $25 bags out of that.
The first thing you notice when you get to the home show is people. Lots of people. More people than you can shake a broomstick at. From the very young to the not so young, you're going to find bargain hunters galore and vendors with bargains to give.
We're here to serve our customers and give the customers a little break on our pricing. We've got factory direct pricing for the home show.
If selection is what you're looking for, well, you're going to find just about every brand imaginable represented. Take lawn and garden products, for example.
We sell a full line of power equipment here, different brands, Toro, Steiner, Aaron's, Troy-Bilt, and Snapper.
To the shy or the faint of heart, the show may seem like a madhouse, but the large crowds mean big business to the businesses that take part.
We get a lot of business from people that come through and look at our display booth.
And when you get tired of shopping, there is plenty of food and entertainment to choose from.
Sometimes I juggle bowling balls, and I happen to be the world's strongest juggler. I was on a BBC TV show called Record Breakers, and they had me juggling 3 16-pound bowling balls. So that's what declared me the world's strongest juggler.
The Arrowhead Home and Builders Show can be found at Duluth's Deck Arena, and it'll go on through Sunday. In Duluth, I'm Dave Anderson for Channel 6 News.
That quick and that easy. Now you see it's the layers that does the work. Fold it up 2 more times like this here. Now you use it around the house to pick up spills after the kids, the husband. Watch this right here. 10 times this weight of any liquid. Instead of running and getting this stuff here, you don't need this anymore. Paper towels are actually old-fashioned. Now, watch this here.
Though the danger of flooding is high in our region, we're still relatively safe when you compare what's happening to us to what's happening to folks south of us. Minnesota Governor Arne Carlson this morning ordered 800 National Guard troops to the Crookston area to help with flooding there. The governor himself toured high water areas in the Twin Cities this morning. A little closer to home, roads are reported washed out around Pine City, and a flood watch is in effect for northern Wisconsin, and there also is a flood warning in effect for Aiken County and other counties along the Mississippi River until April 10th. Although authorities say water is starting to cover secondary roads throughout our region, they also say no major problems with flooding have cropped up yet. With all the rain we saw last night, that could change soon, and a problem does seem to be popping up on Triple Lakes Road, just outside of Twig.
And it's all up and down this road, and it's not coming from the lake, it's coming from that way. Our shed and garage is completely under.
Like a foot deep.
Yeah, and we've got lots of stuff in there. Most of it's off the ground.
The Clarks say new culverts in their location would alleviate their problem, but of course, it would probably take an awful lot of new culverts to solve all the flooding problems throughout Minnesota and Wisconsin. Right now, it looks like the chance for flooding will last at least another week in the Northland, perhaps even longer. From the Channel 6 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Dave Anderson.
That's also true with hard news. If in fact you wind up covering something that's uncomfortable in a town,
Is there already something like that in existence now?
Not in the Twin Cities. It strengthens and enhances our commitment to community newspapers and community journalism in all of these communities all across northern Minnesota and Wisconsin.
The proposed wage of $7.25 an hour would be paid to employees of businesses who receive assistance from the city. Exempted from the plan would be qualifying small businesses, community block grant recipients, and those already covered under Duluth's prevailing wage law.
And there are a lot of myths about poor and about low-wage workers. Most low-wage workers are not students or women picking up extra pen money. A large section of low-wage workers are the primary source of income for their families.
Fears of a living wage ordinance were voiced by those who argue that potential businesses might look elsewhere when choosing a region to expand into.
My fear is that if we put something in ordinance form where you have penalties for not following totally what's within that ordinance, first of all, we're going to discourage people from coming into this community in the first place.
No decisions have been made at this time, but a resolution designed to establish a task force is in the works. In Duluth, I'm Dave Anderson for Channel 6 News.
Rewards for the kids is the same as the rewards for the culture, which is a culture of peoples that dance and a chance to be with their friends and enjoy celebrating together. And it's also a very traditional way that people had of sharing with their young some very important values and very important ways of learning.
He does a very good job with the kids, and he teaches a lot of social skills along with the dances and the cultural aspects of this. They're learning to show respect to each other and to be kind to each other.
Gonna get a big one. Oh, look. Tall grass. Going down there, honey. Gonna get a big one. I'm not afraid.
The resolution of intent to become a guarantor sponsor of the 1998 John Bear Grease Sled Dog Marathon at a cost to the city of
Issuance of lawful gambling premise permits, and that just...
And I think it's important that this council come to some sort of direction before we go throw a task force together and ask them to bring us consensus.
I'm Tom Brokaw. Tonight, millions of Americans depend on this drug every day and pay a lot for it. But do the company that make it withhold information that could have saved consumers more than $300 million? The Policing of America tonight on NBC Nightly News.
Coming up at 6, 60% of you volunteer for causes like the environment, education, and disaster victims, and this week is dedicated to you. I'm Kim Steininger. I'll introduce you to 3 selfless Northlanders working to make their community a little bit better. They're inspiring stories tonight at 6.
I say, got some meals here, which are gradually getting cold, but other than that.
It's been snowing on them.
It's been snowing on them too.
I like that.
I think one of the problems that we've worked ourselves into over the years is thinking the government or other agencies will take care of this need and that need, and we've lost sight of the fact that we need to be concerned about one another and those needs. And I think we're being challenged to come back to that principle and to put that conviction into practice.
See, maybe that's what I need. Well, thank God that they took care of it.
Yes.
Much better that you can.
They thought I was getting Alzheimer's, but it wasn't that.
It wasn't that at all.
What a nice reprieve.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Because from then on, you just don't.
No, that would be tough.
The 1975 Corvette Stingray. It's an American classic and a challenging restoration project for an automotive class at the Renshaw School.
The actual program started about 3 years ago when we decided to combine auto body and auto mechanics and have an actual project that the kids could see progress and watch it drive away.
The classic sports car was in poor condition when the class got their hands on it, but students from Esco, Carleton, and Renshaw are giving it special attention as they learn about auto repair and body work.
We've taken out the whole dash. We've spray painted or dyed everything in the whole interior. We've had every piece of this whole interior out. The seats, we had to relay new carpeting. We've done everything. This whole thing has been just stripped out.
They've been working hard on it. I'd say the biggest challenge is waiting for parts. We have to buy a lot of our parts through the mail, but otherwise it's been going real well. They've been working hard.
Well, I think I showed them a thing or two under there. They say I've got some of the wrong tools here, but I'll leave it to these guys. They know what they're doing. I'm not too mechanically inclined, but I can appreciate a nice muscle car. And these students have won acclaim for other cars they've restored as well. In August, this car will grant someone's wish in a $10 per ticket raffle.
I think we're going to come pretty close if we don't sell it completely out, yeah. I mean, who would want to pass up an opportunity to get a Corvette for $10? So, you know, it's a steal if you can get it.
I think it's the American car, American classic.
For the Souped Up Kids Corner 6, Jason Rice, Channel 6 News.
When the boys of summer hit the field this season, they'll be ready to pursue their favorite pastime with a vengeance. Following close behind them will be what one could call the wardens of summer. That's right, the umpires, the much maligned but much needed police of the diamond. Everybody knows that in the preseason the players work to sharpen up their skills, but did you know the umpires do the same? A clinic for local umps was held in Superior yesterday.
What we're trying to do is equip them with the basic fundamentals that professional umpire schools teach so that they can be more accurate.
About 25 people interested in umping local youth baseball games turned out for the clinic. Contrary to popular belief, there were no seeing eye dogs or canes in sight. In fact, dealing with heckling like that was part of yesterday's course of study.
Yeah, everybody that is umpired for any amount of time gets heckled, and there's abuse there. And that's why a clinic such as this is most important, because people are trying actively to do something about making the community of umpiring better.
In Superior, I'm Dave Anderson for Channel 6.
Pictures, you know, he's 3 years old now,
So you were able just to get a hold, grab to
album. My father is deceased now, so I've got pictures of him in here.
You know, you're fine for a few minutes and then you just kind of give up. We're just kind of holding each other up. You know, when I have a bad time, my husband hugs me. You do what you have to do.
No, I don't.
What we're able to assist with right now is
I feel that as a community at Duluth that we'll all pull together to help these people, because we need to help our fellow people of our state, and these, it's not just a certain group of people, it's everyone that needs to be helped.
It was just eerie. It was real quiet, except there's people directing traffic, and there's mud all over the roads, and military vehicles, and you just got a feeling like you're in a war zone.
Our area's 1st Battalion of the 94th Armor aren't the only local people pitching in to hold back Mother Nature's wrath out west. On the spur of the moment last weekend, Duluth's John Thompson hopped in his car and headed to Fargo to help with sandbagging.
I got a brother who lives in Fargo, and he gave me a call and asked if I'd want to come out. I hadn't seen him for a while, and so took the opportunity to go out and help.
The folks in Fargo were grateful for John's help, and he was put to work building a secondary line of defense behind the main dike.
Could look off between the houses and see the water shimmering between the houses, and you realize the water was much higher than we were, and if it were to break, it would have flooded quite rapidly. At the time, didn't really think much about the safety, just kept shoveling sand.
All John brought back with him from his weekend of volunteering was a sore back, a muddy shirt, and a sense of camaraderie with the people of Fargo in their hour of need.
The sense of community was real strong. Everybody was working together. You know, there was everything from kids to old people to everybody just working together. It was pretty neat.
For Channel 6 News, I'm Dave Anderson.
On a week when volunteerism and helping out our neighbors has been in the national spotlight, suddenly a very generous individual commits an act of kindness beyond anyone's wildest dreams. An anonymous donation of millions of dollars to turn the washed-out roads of the Grand Forks area into the roads of recovery.
To me, this is an indication that God is looking after all of us, because now we are able to help all of you. And just our deepest, heartfelt thanks go out to this woman for caring so much about us, people who she has never met.
It's sure quite a gift to be given, though, isn't it? Unreal. It's we're calling her angel.
Little is known about the anonymous donor from California, but her gift speaks volumes. $2,000 to 5,000 households hit by flooding in Grand Forks, North Dakota, and East Grand Forks, Minnesota. The donation totals $10 million after everything's said and done.
That's even more of a surprise. That's wonderful. It's unbelievable. It's nice to know that people really do care.
Jamie Sinjam and her family fled to Duluth to wait out the worst the Red River could serve up. But the river's destruction is done as it recedes, unveiling homes that had been islands in a lake. And the 265-mile trip home for the Sinjam family will come soon.
Well, we need generator, porta potty, sump pumps. We need tools to get down into the basement to clean out, and it's going to take care of all that.
Salvation Army officials are thrilled by the news, but the work is far from over.
You know, the initial relief program will soon be over, but then that restoration, going in and helping them tear out walls and floors, the Army will be there till they don't need us.
The recovery process is about to get well underway for residents, thanks to a woman whom thousands of victims have never seen. In Duluth, Jason Rice, Channel 6 News.
If it comes off as fast as it looks like it's going to, I will be so pleased I can't tell you. It's just like being in a candy store. You just have so much going on and you're saying, wow, look at all this happening.
This is all happening with volunteers from the Rotary Club of Duluth and Habitat for Humanity. The volunteers are taking time away from their jobs to turn this construction site into 2 homes.
Every walk of life. There are lawyers and accountants and engineers and painters and goodness knows what. Everybody.
That's a great project to do. We're going to offer 2 homes to people who wouldn't be able to afford them otherwise.
Charlie Bertel is a surgeon helping to build these homes. His skills may come in handy for another reason.
I guess I can take care of any injuries that occur.
It's one little savory fish drenched in batter, covered with flour and fried golden brown that gives true meaning to the words smelt fry.
I was smelting when I was a kid, and it's fun, and now I'm actually cooking it, and that's the fun part of it too. Working with everybody, and all the customers that are coming in from all over. They're coming in from Minneapolis, from Two Harbors. Oh yes, the range. I mean, they're calling us from Minneapolis, and then they're coming in. And it's just great. It's keeping us busy.
Edna Weston is from Minneapolis, and she's here in the Northland on business. And when she saw an ad in the newspaper for smelt fry, she knew it was a mandatory stop.
Oh, it's delicious. And you only get it once a year when the run's on. And so I've always enjoyed it. But I've missed it since we moved down to the cities. So it was nice to stop in and have the fresh smelt.
And Northlanders know they've got quite a catch here, and they won't give it up for anything.
Well, you know, smelt has a unique taste. I don't know how you can, they just taste like smelt, and I enjoy smelt.
Buck the horse didn't always look like a champion. There was a time not too long ago when he was just skin and bones, covered with open sores and destined for the meat factory. But then came his savior, in the form of a young girl named Michelle Stibbe.
It kind of made me sad that he was like that, and that if he was taken to the wrong home, he could have just been like that again. And he looked pretty, and I liked him, and I fell in love with him.
After a few days, Michelle convinced her mom to buy Buck. Over the next few years, Michelle spent many hours nursing him back to health. Even in 60 below weather, Michelle pulled herself out of bed to take care of Buck before going to school.
Because I knew that if I had done my work and every day I would take care of him, then I would have more playtime with him after he got well.
Okay, let's reverse and go the other way. Hard work and dedication has earned this 9-year-old an award for her kindness towards animals. But more importantly, she says, she's found a new friend.
He has changed a lot, and he's a lot more funnier. And he's won more ribbons, and he's been nice, and now I know that he can trust me and I can trust him.
In Ashland, Angela Wang, Channel 6 News.
$500 to help the relief efforts you people are facing in Minnesota and North Dakota. These efforts. Thank you on behalf of our association. Thank you very much, Scott. Very welcome. CC. Anything it can do to help the American Red Cross efforts or the relief efforts of all combined parties, I think they have a tremendous task, and if it happened to us, I'm sure they'd probably come out of the woodwork and help us too.
Tell me real quickly about the challenge you stated earlier.
Well, I challenged my counterparts in Minnesota, North, South Dakota, Iowa, Illinois, and Michigan to match the donation.
Not to use drugs and not get into gangs, and that drugs can mess up your mind.
Lastly, we are here because we as parents need to. We are here today. So the factor since the advent of public schools in America.
We've been asking for these things for many years, and all of a sudden, this school is going to be able to offer everything, but our children still can't have it.
The value or importance of one of our own seems repugnant. But if you must, look at a teacher in particular. She saw my child's potential and helped her realize it.
For some, the flooding still hasn't ended. For others, the cleanup has hardly begun. Seemingly endless piles of sandbags are being replaced by even bigger piles of soggy debris. Man-made drifts waiting for someone with a very big shovel. Phone service is being restored to thousands of homes, but thousands more are still waiting for attention from linemen like Joe Zock, who was sent here from Dubuque, Iowa.
Probably 95% of the problems that I have found have all been in wet basements.
Bernadine Albrecht knows all about wet basements and so many other challenges.
I was thinking how long this is going to put me behind, just to catch up and get everything done. Clean your house, get a new washer, dryer, freezer, everything.
Another neighborhood must wait for this new sewage pumping station to be built before getting sewer service back. The old one is still flooded.
Everybody's doing their share.
Spread pretty thin.
That's for sure. And a lot of our people have the same problems as everybody else. They don't have a home, they don't have a place to stay.
The Andersons feel fortunate to be back at home, even if they can't live in it.
Oh, this is going to be great. It's just like we got a nice bed back there. We got a hot water and a shower, which is nice. Saves us from driving 70 miles every morning and every night back to Fargo. So this is really going to be nice. This is home. This is home sweet home.
All fire is heartache. It's always difficult to deal with, not only the mess, but there's a lot of people involved. And so, but we do have a plan to be up and running as early as tomorrow.
If it adheres to existing hole and stays around the perimeter of that hole and holds together and binds well, it stays there through the freeze-thaw process. It's got some good qualities.
Yeah, until you stand in that area and you stand on those streets and look at the devastation and smell those smells and see the 4 to 6 inches of silt and sewage on top of everything, on top of furniture, on top of pictures. It's not just in a basement, it's on the floors of the home. You cannot even begin to fathom the devastation and what these people are beginning to go through.
Many families are coping with anxiety and stress as they work around the clock to try and get their lives and homes back together.
Like I said, I'd be optimistic, and then I'm driving and I'm crying at the same time because you just don't know. It just overwhelms you. I've never been through anything like this.
The need is great. Volunteer organizations are asking for more help.
And there are not many homes that have not been affected in the town of Grand Forks and East Grand Forks. And as I look around, they all have to start all over again. And they will need financial assistance.
That stands for Diesel Range Organics. It's just a way to describe the type of contaminants we're dealing with here. But especially since there's not very many of us here tonight, if you hear us say something, Bill Gantz is on the far end. I'm going down the list to make sure I don't miss anybody here, so it's in odd order. Dave Carper is in the right there, and we got Henry Niels Lowe. Is that right, Henry? He's with the Division of Health from Madison, and Mary Young is here, also from the division.
Section 2, and that's what was before or after. It just seems to me that if they're here to discuss this item,
in this particular class, what we have is an opportunity for kids to use the knowledge that they've learned in their core classes in areas of reading, technical reading, and the opportunity to apply some of their math skills on research questions.
The death toll is high and rising on Minnesota roadways.
We killed 547 people in Minnesota last year on our state highways.
The State Department of Public Safety says that's unacceptable and asked the legislature to give them extra troopers to help fight the death toll. But for the second year in a row, lawmakers have said no. That's frustrating for Captain Jim Lane, who says Minnesota drivers know their chance of getting caught breaking the law are fairly slim and take advantage of that.
If we had more troopers out there giving out more tickets, I think the trend would turn around and people would realize that they have to comply or face the consequences.
Minnesota Governor Arne Carlson supported the bill to add more troopers and says he's worried about the shortage.
I think they have a tremendous deterrent effect, and I think they improve the safety on the highway, so I am concerned about that.
Last year, Governor Carlson refused to raise highway speed limits unless more troopers were approved.
We know that if we were to increase those speed limits, that there would be more death on the highway.
But despite that concern, the governor is not tying his approval of increased speed limits to extra troopers this year. He says there's nothing that can be done about the trooper shortage except to wait for another chance to make a request next year. In Duluth, Barbara Riles, Channel 6 News.
And I just found a nice open clearing. There was just some nice bush there. It was wide open except for a tree, and I laid down and I was like, this is it, because I just don't want to go any further.
for the good of others. Destroy the counsel of those who plan evil in secret. Maybe in winter. It's very pleasant to be here today on a day to see all my fellow veterans.
$2 or $3 or $4 million fire and the impact, so very mutual for us. Okay, the year for investigating fires versus costs you more money. But in relationship to the actual damage, when we're at a fire, they're going to know that we're doing what we're mandated to do, and that's, in other words, to find a cause and an origin for every fire that we go to. So that's one of the best ways that we can combat arson in our area.
This is a fun way for the kids to have some learning without feeling the pressure of the classroom. They're learning a lot, they're busy, they're having a great time, but they're absorbing some new skills, some new parts of something that they might not get in an ordinary classroom.
Oh, you got one of those dinosaurs. You got one. Oh, okay. I put my garbage outside. Go inside and get your snacks. I don't have one. I can look for one. I got one box.
River setbacks were not established in '72 for some reason. I'm not going to be at the county forever. And
in St. Louis County, we are privileged to have many newspapers, radio. Hi, I'm Steve Kaler.
A standard for this is under permits not.
My general belief is we should leave the zoning regulations as they are, but clarify the language so that everybody will be able to understand it and there isn't any conflict.
Mainly for kitchen tops, vanity tops. You can make in 3/8 of an inch, a lot thinner than that, and put around your shower. It will not take any soap scum. It's very easy to maintain.
Tree trimmers from all over the state.
and they basically show their techniques and skills and show their new techniques, new climbing techniques and safety.
Special school board meeting of May.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Is it necessary to add the resolution that's...
Move on to meeting.
As far as I can see, the bid still looks like some of the students should be hauled on DTA buses for economic reasons. So.
It's already a busy place, with the annual Blues Festival, Fourth Fest, and any number of other summer concerts and fun activities. But city officials feel a lot more can be done with this area.
I would like to see this as some type of a national attraction that's known throughout the entire country. It's certainly, the sky is the limit on the types of things we can do.
Some attractions being considered for the urban entertainment area include a national theme restaurant, movie theaters, a marina, several forms of virtual reality entertainment, and a department store.
It became very clear that it was important that we have entertainment as an integral part of whatever we do at the Bayfront. And we're talking about entertainment for adults and entertainments for young people as well.
Many of the ideas are drawn from the 2001 city visioning process, and the city planning department has long held this is the best use of the 47-acre parcel of waterfront property.
But the list's already on the map. We just need to make the star bigger.
Jana was just about to feed 8-month-old Colin when she smelled smoke. She went out on the deck to check and was shocked to find her escape route blocked by raging flames.
I saw flames shooting out and I had to go back inside.
What did you do with your children?
Well, my 7-year-old was outside playing and I had my 8-month-old baby with me and I couldn't get out because of the fire on the stairs. So what I did was I tried to call 911, but I have a cordless phone, so I think it got cut off. So then I started screaming for help, and
Jana's friend, Mike Lindhold, just happened to be driving by. He heard Jana's screams and found her stranded with little Colin on her roof.
I saw the boy run up the avenue, so I knew he was okay, but she was standing out on a little roof part, just frantic. And she had her little baby in hand, and I had her hand the baby down to me. And
hand it or throw it?
Well, she had to drop it down to me, you know, it was just...
Jana and baby Colin were shaken, but okay. Friends took Colin to a nearby child care center to be safe and warm. Meanwhile, authorities believe the fire was started by kids playing with matches.
We know there's a report of some juveniles involved that were playing with matches earlier in the week, so obviously after this, that's one of the things that we'll be looking at.
Hopefully it's not about that, you know. I'm not here to fill stands. If more people come, great. You know, the more people, the better. I basically came here to help out, get some more innings in, and, you know, just basically help out the team.
The part that bothers me is what was printed in the paper, making me look like a male chauvinist when, you know, I'm just trying to play professional baseball. So, I mean, and the people here were great to me. I mean, everybody was, you know, everybody's real kind.
Well, it's all about playing time, too.
Oh,
if you can't play, and you can play more down there.
Yeah, I mean, that's why everybody's up here, to play more every day. So, you know, that's what she's looking for, and that's what I'm looking for. So.
Good. Okay, we'll make sure we straighten it out. When do you head?
We will provide you with a picture of the Duluth entrance to the Twin Ports, and I'll point out that this happens to be a clear photograph. This is probably the only day I've ever been in Duluth where there hasn't been fog. Thank you very much.
This is a copy of this wonderful Craig Blacklock's pictorial Lake Superior images. This is compliments of the Lake Superior Marine Museum Association. And you can get the cover. Sure.
If you have something important in life, you shouldn't just say, hey, it's yours, but you have to celebrate it that you have it.
Passes between 80 and 91.
Yep.
My family, and it was more of a precautionary measure because I'm getting up there towards the ages where if it's going to start showing up for diabetes, it's going to start showing up soon. Mm-hmm. And so I wanted to do that more as a precautionary measure rather than for cosmetic reasons.
going to school here, we had nothing.
To both communities, both in Duluth and O'Hara, the student exchange is one of the most important items to go on the protocol agreement. So now we'll be getting 19 students from O'Hara, Japan on August 5th that will be visiting Duluth for 10 days.
Well, Ford, of course, has put a lot of effort into the Mustang over the years and has spent a lot of money on the car, upgrading it. And of course, this is the latest of the late. This is a new 97 Mustang GT. This has a 4.6-liter V8 in it and carries a lot of horsepower, so it not only looks good, but it goes very well.
As I was about to find out, with
This engine is not necessarily a huge engine. It's really a smaller engine that develops a lot of horsepower, and that's because it is over a head cam and really is a lot of punch for a smaller package.
since the GT carries a bigger engine than other Mustangs.
Well, you know, the Mustang's been around for 33 years, and I've been around just about as long. You know, in that entire span, I've never been in a Mustang before, and, you know, it's about time.
I was impressed with the tight cornering characteristics of the GT convertible and the responsiveness of the 4.6-liter V8. I'm used to the old 302s and 351s of Ford's heyday.
Mustang is, of course, was the first pony car, and it was the started the whole revolution with this type of vehicle. And Ford has tried to keep the car as fresh as possible.
How did you feel about him then? I thought he was a manipulating liar. What do you think Carolyn is thinking that she looks down?
This trial, although painful, is only a small part of the grieving, and it doesn't end anything. There is no finality. There's no closure to this. We have to now try to start taking back our lives.
If you were looking for things to do in Carleton this weekend, you had plenty of choices. Activities ranged from beach volleyball to bingo under the big top to that all-American classic, the square dance.
Well, it's getting out and doing something, and friends, fellowship, and a lot of good people there.
Looks like good exercise.
It's that too, especially on a warm day.
Doing Alabama up that corner where you do sign to your road. Alabama up that corner.
Well, I guess when you probably talk about square dance, everybody knows about a do-si-do. All it is just walking around each other, or sometimes we do like little swings. And then element left is everybody use your left hand and do it turning by the left. Then you promenade your partner side by side, bring her back home, give her a little swing, and all the moves come from there.
Oh, it's just for fun and fellowship. There's no competition whatsoever. You don't have to go fast or jump the highest or stay the longest. It's just fun.
In Carlton, Dave Anderson, Channel 6 News.
Firefighters responded to a huge fire Saturday, July 19th at 801 Weeks Avenue in Superior. 2 days later, state fire investigators were on the scene. Last Wednesday, an arson dog was brought out as well. Investigators won't say whether the fire is arson, but have spent a great deal of time investigating. Then early Sunday morning, a vacant house at 405 Ogden went up in flames. Firefighters won't say it's arson, but add vacant houses don't burn by themselves. Then 16 hours later, smoke billows out of 706 Ogden at the Ogden General Machine Shop. Extra units are called in. The building is a total loss, but firefighters managed to save the adjacent buildings.
We really enjoyed being in this part of the country. I told my wife when we see Duluth on the side of the hill like it is, reminds me of Tacoma and Seattle area where we started our walk about 2.5 years ago. So it makes us feel almost at home.
Gold seats here, or?
It's on the other side. Okay, cool. I thought it last night. You said you didn't even know.
Showers were cold.
Yeah, very cold. Tell me what you did out there.
Went exploring the different posts and stuff. Worked on a little bit of merit badges. Walked a whole lot.
And just for curiosity, tell me who you guys are and where you're from.
Duluth, Minnesota.
Okay. Joe?
I'm from Superior, Wisconsin.
Nate?
I'm from Duluth, Minnesota. I'm Joe's cousin. I'm from Lake Debagram, Wisconsin.
All right, so you guys are from all over the place, huh?
that's with some folks, baby.
For 9 straight years, the Bayfront Blues Festival has brought in some of the all-time great blues performers. And every year, the weekend-long party draws a record crowd.
The Bayfront Blues Festival is now one of the 2 largest annual events that takes place in Duluth each year. This year we're expecting about 50,000 people, which will in turn have about a $7 million economic impact on the city of Duluth.
To accommodate such growing popularity, some changes had to be made. Preparing for the 3-day concert is a year-long task. If you're thinking about coming down here this weekend to catch all the hot blues, you're going to have to think again, a little bit further south. After the recent expansion of Bayfront Festival Park, you'll have to journey here to the south end of the park to truly experience the blues.
Well, the biggest thing that people will notice is obviously the size of the park. We'll be able to increase the usable space by the festival goer by about 50% over last year.
A new stage is under construction. The concession tents are in place. And in a matter of hours, the waterfront property will crawl with rabid blues fans. For the Twin Ports, Bayfront Blues Fest is proof of the phrase, if you build it, they will come.
Well, thanks to each and every one of you.
We have our annual Garden Appreciation Party. This is a way of thanking publicly the folks, the people who have given either financial assistance or volunteer help to help beautify our city.
Notebooks, pens, pencils, it's the time of year to start buying your school supplies. From Wishbone the dog to Hercules, kids and their parents have a lot to choose from.
We're going to be getting like folders and Trapper Keepers and notebooks and stuff. Like the Trapper Keepers that are in are 5-star, but I'm getting like a pen tab notebook because they're cool, and pen tab like Trapper Keeper.
I'm getting crayons and erasers and pencils and backpack.
Backpacks are a hot item this year as well. The new favorites are the Wishbone dog pack, Hercules from Walt Disney, and of course the traditional Star Wars is still a big hit.
Backpacks are a big item, and I think more and more kids carry them now than ever before. We're looking at selling probably 700,000 backpacks throughout the targets in the company this year.
From lunch boxes to lunch bags, there's an endless amount of school supplies to buy. Parents are out making their lists and checking them twice, trying to get this annual ritual out of the way.
People are out shopping for mostly the basics right away. First thing, getting their lists that the teachers have given them that they need to get everything for the kids before school starts.
I usually try to get out early because then when I'm buying for the 4 kids, it's quieter in the store and I feel frazzled enough as it is trying to make all these selections. So.
And you have your 4 spirals and your 5 loose leaves?
I have 8 spirals.
If you haven't done your shopping yet, keep in mind, school is only a couple of weeks away. In Duluth, Kristen Kunze, Channel 6 News.
ain't got nothing to see here, Chief. Turn the...
But the Teamsters both.
Frankly, I am personally disappointed. I do not believe that our community is of the same beliefs that the KKK voices or that they represent. My preference would be that they'd be somewhere else.